right. Welcome to the very first episode of Ready, Set, Sell, where whether you're a salesperson who's traveling around the world, a homemaker who just started her own business during the pandemic, or just this guy who just wants to go talk to that lovely lady at a bar. You know what, Donnie? It's all about selling. So here I am with my co-host and good friend, Mr. Donnie Wong.
Hello there, audience. Welcome to the best sales show ever written, recorded, and blasted to the interwebs.
So you know what? We got 11 minutes of action-packed knowledge that we're going to give to you. And actually the premise of this show, Donnie, is really if you're a salesperson, you're driving, and you got 11 minutes to your sales call, hopefully you get some value out of this. Maybe there's a quick reminder as to how you can improve your sales pitch, or just something, a tool that you could take to arm yourself in the battlefield.
That's right. And that's what we're going to do with this show. We're not only going to talk about the strategies, the tactics, we're going to dig deep. We're going to go into the highbrow. We're going to bring the dark arts. We're going to look at every facet of sales, of influence, anything to do with the art of selling.
Right. And you know what? I think now we're talking about the art of selling. One of the things we need to talk about was the definition. We'll chat about that. And then we'll talk about the 5 reasons why selling is important. And in your words, if you don't sell, you
die.
Yes, you die. So, you know, I've asked this question to many people in full rooms and asked them, what is your thought on sales and selling? What is the definition? And oftentimes I hear, Donnie, that, you know, selling or salesperson is that dodgy guy wearing that, you know, plaid jacket who's trying to sell you something you don't want, or it's someone that will say whatever they need to say to get you to do what they want you to do and to relinquish the hard-earned money that you worked hard for.
That's right. It's the caricature of the salesperson, right? It makes for good television, right? It's from movies just like Tin Men when they're selling the fake siding down to Sal on Simpsons. A good old Sal, please buy something, man.
Absolutely. You know, it's interesting when we talk about sales. Several definitions. One here, according to Wikipedia, is sales are the activities involved in selling products or services in return for money or other compensation. I was actually digging deeper into an old antiquated definition by in Webster's dictionary, and it said something along the lines of to deliver or give up in violation of duty, trust, or loyalty, and especially for personal gain. What do you think about that?
It sounds like someone sounds like a nerd wrote it. Someone that's been did not have a good experience with salespeople.
Absolutely. You know what? My definition of sales here is a little bit different. I would say it is the ability to improve the conditions of somebody's life. What would you say your definition is?
I like you. I really like the definition that has an overall discussion about sales. And how I talk about sales is this: sales is leadership, and leadership is influence. Always has been, always will be.
It's interesting when you talk about leadership because leading doesn't necessarily mean you're selling or leading a group of people.
Exactly.
Sometimes just leading yourself to doing something they don't feel comfortable doing. And in fact, one of the quotes I would say when I started off is the first sale ever made is a sale to yourself.
Always.
You need to actually believe in what you're going to sell.
What I like about both of our definitions of sales is that there's no talk of a transaction. Right, it's all about the human experience, and that's why this show's gonna be so prolific, because we're going to break down the sales, the skills, the tactics, the structure, the rumors. We'll break down books, we'll break down everything. But what we're trying to do is give the overall craft, the science and the art of such an essential skill to all humans.
So, Donnie, why do we need this skill to begin with? We're in a very interesting world, very competitive world right now. So tell me, what are some of the reasons? Let's give the audience 5 reasons as they're driving in the car or listening to this while you're working out. What are the 5 reasons?
This is a great one. And if you don't mind, this is actually yours. And I loved it because I didn't think of it, but it was so profound as that it provides confidence. If you can learn to sell, you can handle yourself in any social situation. It's kind of like survival skills. If you threw me in the woods and you gave me a knife and I knew I could survive, I would have an unprecedented level of confidence. That's what sales is in the everyday world. It is social confidence.
Absolutely. And I think just having that confidence, if you have this great idea and you want to change the world, you got to convey that. You got to convince somebody about your vision. So you have to have that confidence. If you don't have the confidence, you're not going to sell anybody. So just being in that sales environment gives you that ultimate confidence. I would say that you make friends easier.
Absolutely,
right?
absolutely. With sales, to understand the social construct, but also understand how to present yourself, how to encourage other people to speak, how to help engage their ideas, their conversations, but at the same time understanding the construct of influence. How do you get your adoption of your idea all the way up until, okay, how do I handle their fears, their objections, in order so that I can make this transaction happen?
Absolutely. This third one is actually a good one. You brought this one up, and that is detect bullshit a lot better.
That's right. Kind of leading off what we just said about the conversation. Not only can you handle yourself in the world, but you can also detect bullshit from others. You can also detect if they're disingenuine, but you can also detect lies quite easily. But something that's probably more useful in the day-to-day is understanding when someone is anxious or they're not speaking their complete truth. And when you can detect that, once again, you can help assuage that and help them within the art of conversation get to what they truly mean, which at the end of the day is empathetic conversational leadership.
Absolutely. And it's interesting as a salesperson, when I see another salesperson, I could detect that bullshit. I can also, on the other hand, respect somebody who's an excellent salesperson. All of a sudden I could see what he's doing. I respect the guy's grind. I respect his authenticity. I respect his message. And when you're put in that situation, when you have the sales skills, again, you could better communicate. You could be a much better listener, which is another episode we could talk about on how to become a better salesperson. But the fourth one here is you can make a meaningful difference in the world.
Yes, I love this because you touch on this very, very well. And it's how to bring your mission to the world. You kind of touched on it before about having a big idea or having a incredible, life-changing, world-changing product. How do you bring that into the world? How do you get on board? How do you get people to not just agree with the idea, but love the idea? How do you get them to jump on the ship? There's an old quote that used to say, in order to get people to sail on a journey, you don't sell them on a journey, you get them excited about how to build the ship.
Very powerful.
No, it's the other way around. Butcher that. You don't get them to build, you don't teach them how to build a ship, you get them to appreciate the journey.
Yes. So absolutely understand what you're saying. And that's that vision, right? You have to have that salesmanship to be able to convey that vision that's invisible, that someone has never seen before. You take a look at everything that we've had. We're drinking Starbucks. Who would have thought that crushing up cocoa beans to create coffee would be amazing? Or where we are having this podcast, the very first person who started a podcast, people must have thought he's crazy. No one's going to listen to you. But as a business owner, I'm going to transition to the next point. As a business owner, you need to be able to take that vision, turn an idea into reality, and sell that vision, and also sell people to support you in that vision.
Absolutely. And where I would go with that is how to make the idea compelling and being able to align that with the other person's interest so that when they jump aboard, everyone prospers, everyone is better off than where they were before they started.
Absolutely. Right. It's that what's in it for me type of attitude. When you talk about selling as well, it's essential sales skill, right? Mm-hmm. Oftentimes when you think about sales and selling, we think about commerce, we think about businesses.
Yes.
So maybe just touch on a little bit about that.
Well, we as humans, one of the most incredible parts about being human is that we're one of the only animals in the history of the earth that we have cooperation across species. You'll never see that with any other animal or organism where they willingly cooperate as one of their ways of survival and to beat nature. How we actually keep track of our cooperation is through debits and credits, which in this case is now money. Money is the way that we track how much you have contributed back to society. Selling is the vehicle that moves money across the human ledger. And that's why it is absolutely essential, because it goes all the way back to how the first human collaborated with the second human. What would the result of that was, hey, if I can kill the animal, you don't have to kill animals anymore. You can now make furs to keep us warm. What that does now is it makes specialization. And that's when the humans just took off on the other animals. When we no longer all had to worry about survival, we can now specialize. The best person does these tasks. How we keep track of that is money, and how money's moved is with sales.
And it's really just a mindset of abundance, right? Rather than one of deficiency, that you and I together are better than just us separately, that whole synergy. the salesperson has to, again, sell the value that I'm going to bring something to your table, you bring something to my table, together we got a massive feast, right? And when you take a look at the business perspective of it, the salesperson really is the lifeblood of any company. Like, you can have the greatest idea in the world, but if there's no sales coming in, you're not impacting anything. Your business is done. And the point I always like to mention is that it's not just the salesperson that benefits. If there's no money coming in, all of a sudden that secretary is not getting paid. All of a sudden that janitor is not getting paid. All of a sudden that delivery boy is not getting paid. The salesperson impacts so many people that people just don't realize that systemic impact that they have.
And that's why, as salespeople, they are always the first to get hired, the last to get fired, and they usually get paid the most out of any organization.
Absolutely. And the last one I love here is...
The most important part of sales is, because if you can understand sales and you're equipped with sales skills, we can pick you up and drop you on any part of the planet. And as long as you speak the language, your family will never go hungry.
Guys, you don't want your families to get hungry. You want to walk in with confidence. You want to detect bullshit. You want to add value to your company and those around you. And again, as human beings, we want to connect. So you're going to make some friends. There's so many things that you can get out of sales. So with Ready, Set, Sell, this is a great opportunity for you just to arm yourselves with that moving forward.
Thanks for joining us for episode 1, guys. This is Ready, Set, Sell with Michael Ciervo and Donnie Wong. Can't wait to go on this journey with you guys.
Peace out. Take care.